What's up, guys? Welcome to Kick Back and Vibe. I'm your host, NYC, and we the only show where you can kick back, relax, and have some fun here in Midtown, New York City. I'm super excited and pumped up because this guest I'm about to bring to the stage is a go-getter who's known for hitting the scenes and interviewing countless artists in the game. Plus, she's the CEO and founder of Silver Lining Productions, and she's known for organizing a lot of events and really helping brands thrive. And I'm super excited to have her on the other side of the microphone. Y'all show some love for Silva. What up, Silva?
Hi.
I'm sorry for the wait.
No, you're good. How's it going?
Good to see you. Have a seat.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Woo. How are you? Please stop the music. Silva, what's going on?
I'm good. Blessed, can't complain. Grateful, always.
Of course. Well, welcome to the function for the first time.
Thank you for having me. It's
No
so
doubt.
pretty.
I'm always excited to tap in with people who's behind the scenes, even if you're on camera as well, because a lot of people don't realize a lot of people behind the scenes, they hold a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, first, let's shout out to Jazz, because she set this up, so
Yeah,
shout out to Jazz.
We love Jazz. JJ Publications, okay?
Of course. But let's just jump straight in, man. Why did you want to do the entertainment space? Like, why you wanted to become an entertainment journalist?
I think it's just something that happened naturally. Like, I did go into the medical field. Like, my family's Haitian, so.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, so it was given doctor, lawyer, and all that good stuff. So I did try to go to the medical field, just because a lot of the women in my family are like super strong, super inspiring, and they all have like different areas, like whether it's emergency room, whether it's what's it called, like infectious disease doctor, one of my cousins.
All types of doctors. Yeah.
So I wanted to be a physical therapist with like a concentration in massage therapy. And then I kind of like, as I was studying it, like first, it was just a lot. Chemistry, the biology.
I'm not a chemistry head. I failed it 4 times. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first time I did it was bad. I did go back and like, cause I'm a Leo, so I had to go back and get the A's. But needless to say, I just really thought about the fact that I had to touch people for a long time, like all day, every day, and I just didn't feel like that was me. Like I don't want to touch people that often.
Yeah, because you don't want to be touched all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to be touched all the time. So I just, I've always had a personality. I've always kind of been an entertainer, just amongst like family and friends. So it just kind of like fell naturally. I took a break from school and I started doing like internships in Harlem, and I got into like production and all that, and it just kind of like started rolling from there.
All right, cool.
Yeah. You
know what it is? As a college student, you're bound to, change your major probably countless numbers of times. It's a normal thing when we're young. You know what I'm saying? I really thought I was going to go into physical therapy. A lot of people didn't know that. But it's like for me, after a while, I was just like, okay, well, respectfully, I don't want that. And I'm just like, I don't want to continue to, once I'm done with school, I'm done. Mentally, I can't do it no more. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I'm glad you in this entertainment space because it's fun. It's fun. You meet a lot of new people, you network. But I have to say, you've interviewed a lot of, artists in the game, a lot of people in this game. I feel like you're a go-getter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is there anybody you interviewed that you felt like you was slight starstruck, but you had to keep your composure? I'm sorry to throw you on the spot. But.
No. It's so crazy because Mario, like that's like a infamous like interview.
OG.
Yeah, like I remember, oh my God, that was just time. But Mario was my first one. I think it's because like he was like kind of up there with like Chris Brown for me when I was like growing up. Everybody knows all the words to all his songs. I was just like, oh my God. Like,
Let Me Love You still hits to this very day.
Baby, you should not. No, but so when I seen him perform first, and this was at like Sirius XM. So it was like, I'm at Sirius, this is Mario, this is like one of my...
Was that your internship at Sirius XM?
No. So I was an on-air personality with another platform. But so we went in to cover the event, and so first I got to see him perform. I'm like, that mic is on, baby. Like, he sounds better than the track. In live. He's so good. So it's like, whoa, already. And then now I have to sit down with him, like, and I think I was probably the only person who got a one-on-one interview that day.
Oh, shit.
It was crazy. And his energy is very strong, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be professional, and he's like,
Like,
yeah, I love silver. Like, silver's my favorite color. I'm like,
don't get in trouble, Silver.
I'm like, saw your project. Oh,
Now you start stuttering.
yeah, I posted the video. The video's on my page. That video goes up every once in a while, and people like, you shoulda, and I'm like, girl, no. Professionalism. But yeah, so I would say that was one of the ones, and then notoriously, Pleasure P was my second. Like after that, I did his interview at Pop Dust.
Okay.
And it just threw me off how charismatic he was in person. Like, I didn't expect that. Like,
you don't expect
his
that.
eyes are like really like mesmerizing. Like, you know, but like it threw me off. Like, 'cause I really didn't look at him like that. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I kind of get it with the eyes. Like, you really be like staring into people's soul for real. And I was like, oh. But other than that, I don't really think I got like super starstruck for anybody else. Yeah. I think I was pretty good after that. I mean, I love Tiana Taylor. It doesn't matter how many times I meet her, I'm always like, ah!
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think if it was me, I think one person I might be slight starstruck, but would still keep my composure is Terrence J, because he's actually the person that made me want to do stuff like this, especially during the 106 and Park days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that it's like you still maintain your composure, but then like in the back of your mind, like, wow, I could really put this under my portfolio. Because you know, as kids growing up, we listen to these people all the time, probably listen to music that we're not supposed to be listening to.
That's what I said. That's what I said to them. I was talking to Pleasure P, and I was like, you know, I was not supposed to be listening to this. He said, well, that's your fault. I said, oh. He was like, I was grown at that time. I said, never mind.
Yeah, we was kidding.
You right. You right.
And I think, you know, what it is like, I think it just teaches a lot about ourselves. It's kind of like we could be one way, but it's like when we're in work mode and we got to grind it out, we're going to make it happen. You know, so much, you know, congrats to you. And it seemed like you still going. And I like that about you, right?
Yeah, thank you so much.
And on top of that, kind of want to tap into your production company, right? Don't hear a lot of people like start a production company for this specific aspect, but I'm kind of wanted to know what made you feel like this was important to help your career? Like, what made you want to do that?
So, I mean, I started in production and in Harlem, so that's how I got introduced to everything. I started off doing like films and like shows and
You're
like.
an actress?
No. Like doing on the production end, like 16-hour days, like you know what I mean, like doing short films or like American Black Film Festivals, like doing the events for that when they come to New York, or just like showcases and concerts and stuff like that. So I started off, like when I took that break from school, I got into the internship and I was doing all that stuff. So my first event was maybe like a year or two after that internship, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna apply everything that I learned, and I started with an art exhibition, just inspired by like my peers and
talk about that.
Yeah, and just filling like a space that I saw that not many people were like in, and just trying to make it like my own and showcase a lot of my friends that are visual artists, but still encompass like the different areas of arts and the different art disciplines. So that was like 2017, Heart, Soul, My Little Baby.
Congrats.
Yeah, so that was like my first thing that I produced on my own in that space, like a Silver Line Productions. But I mean, I've been putting together stuff since college, and even before that, like a personal level, I did like pep rallies for like high schools and stuff like that. But my art exhibition, like the last two that I did was probably like my biggest ones. And
is it like an annual event that you do?
Semi-annually, I do it. I haven't done it since last year, only because I'm like, yo, how can I take it to the next level? Because like I said, my first one was 2017, and my last two was in celebration of Hip Hop 50. So I had like members of the board from the Hip Hop Museum. I had this youth organization called The Door, Verizon.
I'm familiar with that. I was there.
Chef Royal catered, like it was like a really big, we gave away laptops, like I had like maybe 7 art disciplines from like theater.
You're a visionary.
Yeah, to like, we had a mini paint and sip for the kids. And so it was like, it was such a big, and shout out to Bitcoin Center. I had it at the Bitcoin Center, which was a really big space in Upper West Side.
Yeah.
It was like such a big thing, and it was such a beautiful event. Like I just feel like, damn, like I need to soak this in and like really appreciate the work that I put into my events and how hard I work. You know what I mean? And okay, cool. Like take the break, but then how can I take this to the next level? You know what I mean? Like I know where I wanted to go eventually, but like what are the steps I can take between that and this to still make it, to still scale it up?
Yeah,
you know?
I definitely feel like actionable steps are key. I feel like oftentimes when we start something, sometimes, not all the time, we'll get satisfied with just the current moment. It's like, okay, we had 100 people here, cool, and then, but it should always be like, all right, what is it like to get 200 people there, 300, 400? Get to a point where you could sell out the Apollo Theater. You know, if not, I don't know what theater is bigger than that one, but you know, something like that. And I feel like oftentimes we may not know what are the steps that I need to take, or maybe sometimes we don't sit down and just take a step back. What do you feel like in some ways that can happen so a person can evolve within their brand?
Like how can they step back?
No, excuse me. How can somebody like really try to evolve, but they feel like they know where they're at, but they just don't know the steps they have to take?
Well, I would say first take a breath. Breathing is so essential to everything.
We take advantage of that, yeah.
Yes, take advantage of your breathing, but lay out everything that you've done, right? And then also think about all the resources you have. I feel like sometimes we forget like that one person that does that one thing that they might be looking for you and you're looking for them, and then you could like make it make sense and it'll just empower the event even more. So I would definitely just write out everything that you've done, look at your resources, and look at like kind of do some research on your, whatever it's a production or a show or
whatever industry
podcast, whatever it is, and look at like some of the steps that other people took. You know what I mean? Like really do your research. Who did they work with? Whether it's publicity on the marketing side, they're creative, like whatever. Like, and just have a plan for maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. However you want to do it. Some people do 3 months to 6 months and just create like a step-by-step plan on, you know, like what are things that I could do within 30 days to take it to the next level, whether that's like schedule out a bunch of content or like, you know, interview, I don't know, do street interviews or whatever, like just small things that add to the bigger picture. All of those things make it make sense, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I agree too. I definitely want to ask, you know, in this media space, it's definitely male dominated. And I want to know, like, as you navigate, you know, this industry, I'm pretty sure you was faced with challenges. You know, just talk about some of the challenges that you possibly faced. Hopefully it's not too personal. And what are some things that you overcame? I'm sorry if I did.
No, you're good. Being a male dominated, I don't think that it being a male dominated industry is that much of an issue right now. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that to take away from any, you know, anybody's, you know, like you said, personal situations or whatever. I think that what it is right now is like media has transformed to becoming one, so accessible on like the user, you know, the consumer end. And it's like so accessible on like the creation part, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like finding your lane and staying true to you is like, I feel like it's like the bigger thing, like especially people who don't necessarily want to adapt to such quick content.
Yeah.
Like some people want to continue doing long form like how you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And they're worried about the attention span of, you know, their audience, you know what I mean? Like, or finding their audience. I think that that's more of an issue than like it being male dominated right now, just because you can post to anything and there's nothing stopping you, you know what I mean? From creating whatever you want to create. There's not too many barriers. It's just about the work you put in, the research you put in, and what is your actual vision? Like, it's like you can say that, like, oh, I want to da-da, but it's like, all right, cool. Like, can this stand the test of time? Like, when things happened, at one point they said media changed every 2 years. I have my degree in media and communication, stuff like that. New media technology, to be specific. But
okay, period.
And they were saying like, oh, media and technology kind of changes every 2 years. At this point, with the introduction of AI, it's like it could be
every
6 months, every 30 days. You know what I mean? Like, leave it to Elon Musk.
You saw the robots.
Yes, the iRobot party or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like being able to pivot, being able to adapt, and figuring out how to stay true to yourself is like a lot of what's concerning right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, speaking about pivoting and adapting, and also, you know, trying to be innovative, you definitely created the happy hour, which is definitely like a networking event, you know, to help people really come together and really provide their thoughts and ideas and really just collaborate. I'm curious to know, how did the idea come about? How has it been going? Because you've also been doing other things on your production company as well.
Yeah, I know.
Damn, you see, you have to take a breath.
Yeah, I tend to do a lot of things. I feel like, again, I'm not different from anybody else. Like I have my success. You know, anybody could say like what their success looks like. I feel like I've been successful in my career.
Yeah.
I haven't gone as far as I could go. You know what I mean? But I have done a lot of things. So I say that to say like, I'm not afraid to start over. Like, that's my thing. I'm not afraid to start over. So for me, I love networking events. I love attending them. I love like the feeling that you get when you're like inspired by someone's story and stuff like that, and the possibilities that could come from that connection that you get at that event. So I've done different types of networking events over the years, and I feel like this one is probably the truest to me, and the one that I'm being probably the most consistent with. I had another networking event that I started doing during COVID. It's called the networking. It's the networking for me. I started it actually in Atlanta. I was like my first event. I had DJ Miss Milan. Shout out to her. That's Dochi and Sweetie's DJ. She DJ'd it. I had Nick, one of the hosts. He's like a lit promoting like Atlanta. It was like,
are you from Atlanta?
So dope. No, but I travel to do different things. So
absolutely.
So at that time, I was like back and forth from Atlanta like every month, twice a month, 3 times a month, because I was gonna move there, but God had the plans. Okay. But I used to frequent there a lot. So during COVID, like, you know, Atlanta was like the most open. So I started doing like my own, like completely my own networking event aside from my other events in Atlanta. And then it was a good event, and I felt like it had a lot of elements of like my other events, but I'm like, how can I make this more efficient for myself and for people, like more receivers? So what do I do naturally, right? That's what I'm thinking about. I love happy hour. I love to eat.
You love to get a good drink.
Yeah, I love a little cutesy demure moment. Like, and I feel like I want to attract more women to being my core audience. And I feel like, cause like obviously I'm a woman and I'm not, you know. So I tend to attract a lot of male attention. Like a lot of my audience have been predominantly male for a very long time. So I'm like, what are ways that I can appeal to more women so that they know like this is a free and open space. Like I'm super like girl, women empowerment, like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tailor this for women. Of course, men are still gonna come. Like, we don't discriminate or like turn anybody away from any of the events. Put some
men to the side for a quick second.
Yeah, but essentially, like, I want this to be a woman-centered event. You know what I mean? So, I went around the city, and I've already like New York City's my backyard, so I already know all the good spots. So I have like a bunch of spots around the city that have different types of happy hours, whether it's like free this, like the last one we did, it was like free drinks for ladies at this spot. Another one we did, it's like, you know, discounted drinks, this and that. Like everyone looks different. Every month's event is going to look different. The upcoming one is a wine tasting and workshop.
Okay.
So I'm asking everyone coming to, if they want, do a 2-minute to 5-minute presentation on their brand and how can this community help you? You know, what are some ways that we could collab? Because that is the essence of the happy hour club, like networking over food. You know what I mean? So that essentially was like why I started it, because I I'm just going off of my passion. I'm going off of what I do naturally, and I love working with people. I love helping build brands and helping people find like their why and their missing pieces. So, you know, why not do that? And
it's like a PR type of vibe.
Yeah, have like a little drinky drink and a little
and get drunk too.
Snacky snack.
Just not
I mean,
wasted.
you don't have to get drunk.
Not
you know,
wasted though.
Drink responsibly. But you know, like you grown. Everybody's grown. It's 21 and up, obviously, because you know. But yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, one thing I love about what you said, you decided to, you know, leave your backyard and go to Atlanta. You know, tap into a different scene. One thing I love about Atlanta, the people and the energy is different. They're nice. I'm not used to walking into a store and somebody says, "Hello, how are you?" And it's like, "Ooh, I'm from New York. We don't do all that." You know what I'm saying? Even security guards don't even do that.
Yeah.
So when you go
Shout
to
out
that,
to Ak though. Ak do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But it's like when you go there, the energy's different, and it's like you'll meet somebody, whether they're an influencer or a celebrity, and the way they talking to you is kind of like as if they haven't seen you in so long. Mind you, it's their first time meeting you.
Right.
So you just go off the vibe, you go with the flow, and because you're so used to interviewing artists, you know, like very well-known celebrities, it's like for you, it's like that skill is easy for you because kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna go with the flow and see how we can collaborate and and you know, just really team up. I do believe when it comes to collaboration, in order for that to really succeed, one, conversation got to be there. You know, the ideas got to be on point. You guys got to be on the same page. No funny business, obviously, because, you know, in this media space, you're going to encounter that on a daily. But more importantly, like, what's the benefit from both of you guys?
Yeah.
So, like, in something like this, like, I can interview your story. You know, I don't know how long it's been since you've been on the other side of the microphone, so I love doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then you get an opportunity to just, like, expand your audience on both sides. And then that's when the Instagram collaborations come into play. So, you know, much love, to you and, you know, how, you know, you're organizing. Because most people would say to themselves, I don't know what to do, but you're just constantly like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, right? And speaking of which, I kind of want to tap into, correct me if I'm wrong, it's called cuffing season?
Yes.
I hope it's something with dating related? Because the brother's single, so I need to go to it. So let's talk about, you know, that one, how they came about.
So cuffing season.
Like a physical dating app.
Yeah. So I am like the hood Cupid for real. There's a lot of couples that can thank me, whether it's now or later, for their, you know, joyous unions. Just even like especially amongst my friends. But like I remember being like young, like just giving people like relationship advice, and it's like, where is this even coming from? Like, I don't know.
Me too.
I don't know. But I feel like in a way I kind of like study it. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, like obviously I'm not married, child, you know, but I'm just saying like I appreciate love. I appreciate the relationship dynamics. I love seeing people happy. And sometimes like you gotta be a coach, like, you know, everybody's not a star player. Like, you know what I'm saying?
you meant to say that.
I'm good with the references now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so I've come to realize that I'm good at bringing people together just in so many different type of ways, whether it's like intentionally or unintentionally. So I kind of like flipped it and just kind of made it like fun and funny, you know what I mean? I was in a relationship the whole time when I started this, but it's fine. It's fine. But so it actually started on IG Live, and I was doing so the IG Live portion of it is called Sucker for Love. And yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like a playful way of saying like, you know, some people are just like really out there looking for love, and sometimes they might just fall into traps. You know what I mean?
Gotta watch those things.
Yeah, so I would have like my homegirls come to me like, oh my God, I need a man. I'm like, we gonna find you a man. I'm about to go live, and we about to ask these people to come shoot their shot. Then that's literally how it started. So, so Sucker for Love is the IG version, and we've had like K Goddess, Capella Gray, shout out to Indigo. Yeah, a couple people up there. And they just, you know, they're singles. I interview them because obviously I do interviews. And then I'll allow for like, you know, whoever to come up and like shoot their shot. We'll interview them too. And we just make it fun. Shout out to my co-host, Breezy Obama. He's a comedian. And so cuffing season is the in-person event where now it's like you're kind of like in a date setting, a speed dating setting. and it's more intimate, but it's more personal, right? And so the other side to that is like, again, COVID. So all of this happened after COVID. So the IG Live is during COVID, but then, you know, once they open back up, it's like, all right, let's take this outside now. Yeah. And it was to reintroduce people to having conversations in person.
Oh my God, people don't know how to do that.
That'd
don't. That'd be pissing me off.
Especially romantically, it's like, oh my God, get out of my DM. Like, what's up? Like, what happened? Like, ask me out. Like, you know what I mean?
Continue.
So, are you triggered?
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm crying. But you know what I mean? So it's like, it's my way of creating a space for people to readapt to, you know, talking and like getting into that love language, like, you know, words of affirmation and gratitude and learning how to express themselves to a possible interest. You know what I mean? So it's all in the name of love and good fun.
I want to voice my part on what you said.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I got to attend one of these. I have to.
Yes.
So here's my thing. People nowadays really don't know how to date. Right?
They don't.
They don't know how to have conversation because everybody nowadays want to, especially for guys, and I'm going to speak for because I was once a victim. They want to hard eyes. They want to comment, hey, love, what's up, love? Sound thirsty. And for guys especially, I always say, like, if she's not trying to respond, keep her pushing. Nobody got time. Straight up, it makes a man feel like you don't know your value. You don't know your self-worth. Like, you come off like a sucker, straight up, right?
A sucker for love. I'm telling you.
That came in naturally.
I'm telling you.
You know, so I was once that dude. I stopped doing it because it made me feel like, I don't know, I always felt like, look at their phone and be like, I'm not getting to this dude.
Yeah.
I got other dudes. There's probably 30 dudes in their DM, and it's like you fall into the roster. But here's the crazy part about that whole thing. There's probably maybe one dude that might be your future husband. Might be, right?
In your DMs.
Yeah, because think about it. Man reaching out to you, and he's respectful, right? Hello, how you doing? He's not really trying to do a small talk. Me personally, I'm not a small talk dude. Hello, how you doing? Cool. Every after like 2-3 days, what's your number? Let's get on the phone. People are too satisfied with being behind their phone and texting all day. I don't want to twiddle my fingers all the time. I want to like establish something, conversation in person or even over the phone or FaceTime. Either or is good for me. If the person's not trying to do that, keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Because nobody got time for a TED Talk, right?
Yes.
And then nowadays, I would say 2 things. One, guys don't know how to ask women out on a date.
You know?
That's like a man saying, I want to take you out, but hey, Silva, where do you want to go? You mean, we got TikTok. Don't ask a girl where you want. I know you probably experienced that.
Because, all right, so here's my thing, right?
Go ahead.
My thing is I don't want to go anywhere with you. I wasn't thinking about it. You're thinking about it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, if this is what's on your mind and your brain, come with a plan. Come with some type of energy. Like, you're not even my type. That's what you're showing. Because anybody that has dated me in real life, that's how they come. Like, like we're going here, like maybe, and not in a rude way. Obviously, it's considerate and respectful, whatever. But it's like, if you can't even get past a conversation with me and it go outside of DM, like, I never even respected DM warriors. Like, I'm just, I'm just being more open because I just, like, in general, just want to be more friendlier to people because I'm not the nicest person in the world. But, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in karma and all of that. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me be more positive and let me be more, let me give more grace to people. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you never know, like you said. So I just feel like, one, on my end, women do have to show when they are interested. I do.
Oh my gosh.
I do think that is a thing. Like, sometimes you could play too hard to get, or you could be too strict and too stern.
Make no sense,
and it's kind of like, all right, well, you know, everybody has feelings too. Everybody wants to feel wanted to. But before we get there, like, what are you here for? You know what I mean? Like,
the phone call or FaceTime.
What are your intentions?
Yeah.
Because if you're just like playing around or like just saying anything, or you just don't know what to say, or you're love bombing and you're just sending me like, oh my God, the inappropriate memes because you don't have the words is so cringy. Like, it's so cringy.
It's the Leo in you. You be
like
what?
I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, hard-eying my pictures, whatever. I'm going to double tap it. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, my God, he's...
And that's another problem.
It is what it is.
After
I posted the picture.
After the second time you hard eyes and she's not responding.
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, but my whole thing is, like, you hard-eying is just what social media is for. You get what I'm saying? I'm not taking that as anything. I'm not. I'm going to take that as a social interaction because that's what Instagram is for. I posted a picture. You reacted to it.
Yeah.
Now, sending me my photo, if I post it on my feed and you send it to me, oh my God, cringe. But if you are replying to my story, whatever, you're if you want to say something, you have to say something because I'm not assuming anything. I'm not gonna have the conversation for you. I'm just not. Yeah. Because what does that look like? You hard-eying my picture and me being like, hey, oh my God, are you interested in me? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, cute. Let's go out. Like, no, like, I like men who lead. I like men who take charge. I like men who are men. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like good dudes well, let me say my piece before I was going to ask you, do you feel like
don't forget your
dudes?
thought.
Yeah. So I feel like women sometimes lack, it's not all, they don't know how to reciprocate.
Right.
So let's say you speak to that guy and he did ask you out, cool. And let's say like throughout that whole week, she doesn't even try to reach out to you. She doesn't call, she don't text. I guess you're not, because I feel like when you're dealing with somebody, they get to a point where a routine is somewhat established before something's even said. You'll call each other out the blue, you'll text each other out the blue, and be like, hey, what you doing? Let's meet up and let's do X, Y, and Z, right? But over time, if you really think about it, I always say, if you take a step back and see if that girl hits you up, she's not gonna do it. But she'll be on the gram all the time. Wait, hold on. She'll be on the gram all the time. She out with her friends all the time. You want to take her out. Why are you taking this girl out for if she don't put effort into you?
Right.
And it's like women expect so much, but not even doing the basics. Like for me, I don't ask for much. I just ask a woman to just be considerate, provide good energy, and also think. I feel like nowadays people do not think nowadays. They don't use their brain. So a woman who don't use her brain, but then expects so much, but ignoring you and then acting like she's too, like playing hard to get, I don't think she's the one for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's like dating in New York is hard. It's like pulling teeth. So I kind of see why you cringe. And like stuff like that, when a person's not thinking or being considerate, that makes me cringe. Because kind of like, why spend your dime on this chick who's not going to even make effort into you?
Yeah, I think that in this moment where I'm being more open to certain conversations, I also have incorporated being quick to block. You know what I mean? Like, what's for you is going to be for you. And people have to date people or put more effort into people that actually like them. Like, at some point, they're not interested. You get what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, there are women who play hard to get. Like, I feel like sometimes it could be that, but at the same time, it's them trying to figure out, like, okay, you like me, because this is my thought process. Okay. You like me. You looked at me, or you seen what I do. You seen me something that has you here.
Caught your attention.
But I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you reaching out to me is now putting you on my radar. So what about you now should make me want to learn more about you? You know what I'm saying? So that's my perspective with that. Like, I don't wake up like, oh my God, I hope he hits me up today. I hope somebody hits me up today. Anybody. Like, no, like, I literally have my routine. Like, I'm thinking about literally everything and anything else. I'm not thinking about somebody hitting my DMs. Like, that'd be regular. I'll like it or ignore it or whatever the case may be, and I'll move about my day. So if you want to get my attention, then get my attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going through your profile just because, like, what about you is gonna make me do that? It has to be something that you say if we're in the DM. It has to be. So, but if you are to this space where you've done that part and you guys have each other's number and you're calling and that person being consistent, because I had this happen to me not too long ago where I feel like somebody was putting effort into me and I was like, oh my God, let me call them. And this was after a conversation with one of my homegirls. And I was like, you know, like, this person has, like, reached out, we've gone out, like, all right, let me hit them up and, you know, like, let me start a conversation. But I don't do that often. I'm literally used to the guys starting the conversations, but that's just because that's what it's been. Like, you, especially the type of guys that I like, I know that they're super, super busy. You know what I mean? Like, I like high value, like, or right underneath high value. You know what I'm saying?
What's right under high value?
not like low level, low vibrational, like none of that. Like, you know, like you can still got stuff going on. You may not be, you know, having government contracts. You may have a 9 to 5, but you have a 9 to 5. You have passion. You have this. You have things going on. Like, you're not just twiddling your thumbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a purpose and you know what it is. But yeah, like, those type of guys don't have hours and hours and hours to just text me randomly. So usually, and it also, it puts me, you know, it puts me back on my, like, grind. Like, oh, he's so busy, whatever. Like, I got it. Yeah, like, I know I have my things going on too. So let me not stay in la la land all day long. Like, let me get on my stuff too. But again, like, I'm used to those type of guys. So those type of guys usually reach out to me first, and I don't go a day without talking to them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still getting like a good morning or throughout the day, how's your day, and blah 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 blah. But again, I'm used to guys initiating conversations because I'm letting you lead. I want to be able to let you lead. Yeah. The guys that are, unfortunately, I am attracting, and this is why I'm healing, because why am I attracting you? They're just not leaders. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not.
They don't take initiative.
Yeah, they don't take initiative. They're waiting for, I don't know what they're waiting for. But again, so the example that I was giving, this guy, I was like talking to him or whatever. He was like doing stuff. He was auditioning, whatever. So then I initiated a conversation with him, and it just went to, so I was just like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm going to go back to what I'm used to, because that is the type of guy that I want. And that's just that. So I feel like when it comes to dating, like, you should have non-negotiables. You should set your intentions, and you shouldn't waver from them. You shouldn't. Like, giving somebody a chance is just giving them room to, like, play with you. That's just that. So, you know what I mean? Like, it caught me.
I am. You'll see it Instagram though.
Like, I'm so serious. I was just, one of my homegirls had just sent me a video, because I've never done dating apps. So they were just like, oh yeah, you know, you can do dating apps. You just have to be super, super intentional and not compromise. Because the person that's for you, the one that you're manifesting, is on the other side of that. And I think that makes a bunch of sense. If you are who you desire, which is what we should all be, we shouldn't really ask much of somebody, you know, that we're not willing to do, or, you know, willing to, like, be a partner. Complete somebody, you know what I'm saying? But you have to be in a good space for that, whether it's like mentally healed, financially okay, whatever. It shouldn't be you going into a situation feeling like this person's gonna save your life, you know what I'm saying? But if you set those intentions and you have pure heart, mind, soul, you know, like, you'll come out on top. It doesn't make sense not to, you know what I mean?
Okay, cool. I like that. I like the mentality. I'm not bad if it was like a long rant on this topic, but I kind of
No, it's fine. I love this topic.
I love it too. Kind of want to shift gears a little bit, you know, kind of talk about your production company. You know, I feel like in today's economy, you know, we talk a lot about mental health, but what's causing the mental health, right? And you're very vocal about, you know, domestic violence, youth advocacy, and like sexual assault. You know, how are you so vocal with stuff like this, even though it's very sensitive, you know, but still maintaining like your composure even when, you know, stuff like this still occur? And how do you feel like stuff like this could change?
I feel like some of those issues go back as far as like I don't want to say BC, but, you know, like they were saying with all that's going on right now, like sex work is like one of the oldest occupations. Yep. You know what I mean? So, and not to say that all sex workers, you know, like everybody has their reasons and their, you know what I mean? But, so just first, I want to say that I can't tell you how or when or if it'll ever not exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know good because we know evil, right?
Yeah.
But what we can do and we have control of is our stories and our narratives, and creating spaces for people to feel comfortable going forward, and hopefully preventing somebody else from having to go through something, and trying to stop these generational curses within our, like, whether it's family or friendship group or whatever. And there are a lot of resources for people who have gone through certain things, whether it's like domestic violence shelters or like hotlines or this, that, and it, because suicide awareness is something that I am big about too. So I can't say that we'll completely like abolish this whole thing, but I think that what we can do is just continue to create spaces where people feel comfortable, whether it's like whether we're like putting out signs like, hey, this, and this can equal that, like, or watch out for that, and like, and making sure that people have, that awareness before anything occurs. But, while they're in it, especially something like DV is something that, domestic violence is something that's like,
very common.
One of the, oh my God.
Especially in relationships.
Yeah. And it's hard to get out. Some people don't get out until violence, like real physical harm is done.
But some still stay. That's
Some
the crazy
still
thing.
stay. They say it takes 7 times before somebody leaves. And then we also don't talk about enough, like, guys going through abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to feel less masculine, or, you know what I mean? Like, made fun of, or sometimes people don't even consider it abuse.
Cry in front of a girl.
Yeah.
That's crazy part. And I'm sorry to cut you off. I wanted to add to that because in a situation where, let's say you're in a relationship, I've always felt like after the first time the person put hands on you, it's kind of like they'll call every person under the book. This person did X, Y, and Z. They put hands on me. I don't know what to do. But then the next day you turn around, you're still going to be with that person. So it's like that's causing your mental health to drain fast, because you're going to sit here and be with somebody and deal with so much domestic violence, but you're not going to do anything. And you're going to continue to stay there and stay there. And then you'll be on the phone with your friends and say, hey, you should do X, Y, and Z. After a while, it's kind of like disrespecting your friends too, because they want to get you out, but why would you want to stay with somebody who's abusing you, right? And I love how you touched that men go through this type of abuse too, because we live in a society, we have to be masculine all the time. And I always say, like, every good man at least once a month deserve a good cry. Because we're constantly, ripping and running through the streets of New York. There be stuff going on in my relationship, at my job, maybe at the gym, like, who knows, in my family. And if you don't just take a step back to yourself, you can just take a 5-minute cry and just be to yourself. Like, get off your phone, get off everything. If you don't do that, at some point that could lead to potentially a mental breakdown. And you don't know what that could happen. And I know somebody that happened to. So I feel like I'm glad you touch up on these things, and somebody like yourself continue to do it. Somebody around our age, I mean, Grace, I don't know your age, but some people around our age, they don't touch on that. They just want to strictly focus on entertainment.
Yeah.
But when you come into play and talk about these things, it's going to show that, hey, listen, I don't know this woman's story. I don't know if she ever been through this, but maybe she can possibly help me or provide some resources that could put me in a better position. So.
Or just an ear. Like, a lot of times people just want to be heard. And that goes for people that are in the situation and people who deal with people that's in the situation. Because I don't think that people understand that sometimes that can affect you too. And I've been on both sides of the coin where I've been like in, different type of abusive situations.
I'm sorry.
And I've been like the aid, you know what I mean? Like the person that person calls, whether it's like on the phone or I have to like drop everything and go rescue somebody, you know what I mean? Like I've been on both sides, and I feel like that wears into your mental too, because well, I mean, unfortunately, I have been around DV like my whole life, so I kind of have a better understanding of how, like, what it looks like, you know what I mean? And the questions of like, why would you go back? And they think they're in love. That's a form that is, in their mind, that is what they know as love. Whether that's like their first introduction to it, and I'm speaking about like sexual assault or DV, you know what I mean, or physical abuse, you know what I mean, like whether it's like your parents who are overbearing with that, with belts and weapons and whatever, or just like the way that they hit you was like, it's just intense, you know what I mean, and or you know, they just, that's your introduction to what love is, expression and all of that. So you don't really know anything else. So now when you get older or you get into that space, some people do it prematurely.
You still have that trauma,
You still have that trauma, and then that's kind of what you gravitate towards because that's what you know. So it's deep, like it's deep. It's not something that you're gonna all the way fully understand even while you're in it. Some people don't have the vocabulary for what they're going through. Sometimes people go through things and they don't realize like, oh my God, like this was inappropriate. Oh my God, like this was, I think, what's her name? Melissa Ford spoke on the Joe Budden podcast about, you know, something similar to where she was saying like some people don't have the vocabulary for what they're going through, and certain things were more overlooked before. I do appreciate that we're in an era where everybody's, you know, kind of like speaking up for themselves. Hopefully, you know, everything's on the up and up because, you know, some people do take the opportunity just to have a 15-minute. But, and that's sad because there are people who actually need that help, you know what I mean? So, but I am glad that we're in a, like, we went from it being like, oh my God, they're overly sensitive, blah, 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 to like, wow, okay, this is a space where people are being called out and actually persecuted, or whether it's like by social media or the court system for taking advantage of somebody. But I would say when it comes to mental health, I just don't think that the generation before us had enough tools. I think that's kind of just all where it stemmed from. And it's like, you know, it can go generation to generation. Like, and I don't think it's everyone. There are some people who have it made, you know what I mean? Like, and I love that for them. But there are some people who go through things and they don't know how to get to that other side, because life is technically what you make it, but if in your brain everything is so negative and so cloudy, like
so blurry,
so tumultuous, you know what I mean? That's kind of like what you think that your life is going to always be, and some people don't make it out, you know what I mean? They don't make it out of that, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, mental health is just, it looks different for different people. Sometimes it could be just somebody being quiet in a corner. Sometimes it could be somebody in the center of the dance floor, and that person's suicidal. The one that's like, hi. And it's crazy, but I've seen so many different versions of so many different things that I just feel like you talk about crying, I think that people need hugs.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that
a tight hug at that.
Yeah, like I think that more people need hugs. I think that more people need like a shoulder, somebody who listens to them genuinely. People use the word narcissism. Narcissism is on a high for many different reasons, but it's because everyone wants to be seen now. Everybody wants to be at the center of attention, and everybody, it's like you can't get enough. It's addictive now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, yeah, you're going through something, but like I want to be lit now. Like I want to be this. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about me. I'm me. And it's like I feel like sometimes we have to, and this is why I curate the spaces that I do, because genuinely we come together and people are seen. People are heard. And I don't know if that's their first time that that's happened. I've gotten a lot of different reviews over the years for different events. Oh, this is my first time singing in front of people. This is my first time doing this and doing that. Like, but like some people just literally want to feel like a human being. Like it sounds so simple, and it's like you see the flesh and the bones and everything like that, but some people don't get to feel human. Like they matter, like their feelings matter, like they can just let a load off, and you don't have to be, you know, like say your family depends on you for everything, you know, whether it's financially or just like they just Cinderella you all day long, or you know what I mean, like, or you have a job that you hate but you need it because you have to pay your bills. Or maybe you're your mom all day long and you feel like, damn, I don't have no other identity. And I love my kids, so I don't want to feel guilty for loving my kids, but I want to feel like a woman sometimes. I just want to like laugh with my homegirls. Yeah. Or, you know, with guys, like guys don't feel hurt all the time because they have to be so tough and so this and that. And like I changed. Oh my God, I used to hate men so bad. Like, but that's because I've been through some things. But we can get through that.
Yeah.
But I think like it was like maybe 2017. I was like, you know what? I'm done fighting with you guys. Like I literally made this announcement on Facebook because I like physical altercations, everything. Like, yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm done fighting y'all. I want to understand y'all now. And since then, I've kind of like been on this journey to like understand men, and I think that's probably why my male audience grew. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like I've learned so much in terms of the male emotions and like the male ego and just like, you know, like what do you guys need to take yourselves to the next level? Like, you know, in every way, like spiritually, emotionally, financially, like that is something that I feel like should be nurtured more in men. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I caught a little bit of a shift. I didn't think we was gonna get this deep, but I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. Kind of want to shift gears a little bit before we wrap up the show. Silver Lining Productions, still moving and grooving. I'm not gonna lie, that damn, this was, ooh, that gave me the chills.
Nah, I do this.
I'm sorry.
That's what I do.
Okay, cool. Silver Lining Production, as you continue to navigate with it, is there any plans or anything coming up, or can you possibly give me a slight sneak peek of anything going on the show?
Okay, so
I thought you were gonna have me wait, but okay.
No. So the next event that I have for the happy hour, that's October 26th, depending on when this drops.
No, wait. We're gonna start over, so don't mention the date because I don't know if this episode's gonna come.
Right.
Okay. So we'll do that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we have our next happy hour event coming up.
Okay.
So, you know, just tap in with me. I'll send you all the details. Everything's always RSVP, and we do give out like free goodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then, let me see, what else can I reveal?
We have the function, so hopefully I get a little scoop.
Well, I'm going to be dropping some more interviews and you know, speed dating content and stuff like that. So you could look out for that. And then we are going to drop our website officially. Well,
Congrats.
Relaunch.
Okay.
Yes, our website. So I think that's like my bigger drop for the rest of this year. Yeah.
Okay, well.
But stay tuned, we got some more.
Okay, cool. Before I go into my last minute thought, I'm just curious if Mario hopped in your DMs. What you doing? So I already know the answer to that.
Mario, leave me alone.
You like Silvy though.
No, Mario is cute, but
you know you drop everything. You like.
I don't date artists.
How you don't?
I do not date artists.
That is, maybe one day he may be like. Hey,
I'm not built for that lifestyle.
I respect it.
I'm not.
It's a lot to carry. It's a lot of load.
I'm not built for that lifestyle. If you're in tech, IT, holla at me.
Handyman, anything?
Yeah. Photography, production.
DM her. No, not
DM me.
Okay.
Run down.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Listen, Silva, thank you. Hopefully I delivered a great experience to you. I always love tapping in with people on the other side of the microphone. I want to leave you with this one thought because it's so crazy how everything correlates to like the mental health and how you're an advocate for stuff like this. It doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could be in the talking stage or even with your own friends, your homegirls and your homeboys. I would say, and it's something I thought of, just try once a month, right? Once a month, speak to that friend, speak to that person you're dating, and just be like, how do you feel about our friendship? Where do you feel like I could be a good friend? Where do you feel I could be a good girlfriend? Is there anything you need help with?
Yes.
Right? I feel like that will put things more at ease, you know, as opposed to just like, yeah, we talk on the phone, we're talking X, Y, and Z, but mentally, how are you?
Yes.
You know? So I would feel like for just 10, 15 minutes on the phone, in person, FaceTime, do that with boyfriend, friend, don't matter. Just once a month, just take a step back, reflect, and be like, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, then it's just like you're going to meet up with that person, and then they have so many thoughts about you, but then it's like, so why you never told me? But then they too timid to say anything because they feel like it may lead to altercation or an argument, stuff like that. So communication is everything. I'm glad that you tap into stuff like this, and you know, hopefully that's something, you know, you could implement within your friendship, relationship, and you know, and just overall, thank you for coming to the function.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Major shout out to Jazz. You know, I was nervous about this, but I feel like the conversation flowed.
Why was you nervous? About me?
Yeah.
Why?
I was like, oh damn, like, you know what? We started a little bit late, you know, but we had to make sure the technical side was on point. So, yeah. So.
No, you're good. I'm here. I was here for the ride. So.
You gotta come back.
Yeah, of course. And congratulations to you and all that you're doing in your space and everything. Very proud to see a black man doing his thing.
Of course.
Period.
I will be at the cuffing season.
Yes, as you said.
Lady. I'm turning 27, so hopefully she'll.
How you like, hey?
Yeah, I'm single.
Outside.
Definitely. It's winter. I already got the outfit, so I'm in there.
Okay, come on, Snuggies, matching pajama
Cozy
sets.
vibes only.
Yes.
And Valentine's Day falls on a Friday, and then Monday's a holiday.
Yes.
So I gotta get something in motion.
Okay. All right. Stay tuned, y'all.
Thank you. Real quick, let them know where they can find you. Camera's on this right here.
You can follow me at King Silvy, that's KINGSLVY, because it's the right thing to do. Follow my company, Silver Liner Productions, period.
Well, there you have it. King Silva.
Yes.
Thank you for stopping by the function. Thank you. Got to come back again.
Of course.
Amazing conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate King Silva for stopping by the function, providing a lot of gems and really tapping into a great conversation. I appreciate my team backstage, my viewers. Thank you so much, man. It's your boy Dave signing off. Take care and God bless. Thank you.
Yay.